Welcome into TuddyTalk. This is week 2, and oh boy, a lot of us got up to a rousing start. I'm Devyn.
I'm Gifford.
And today we're going to go over our matchups, our predictions for this week. We're also going to go over our power rankings, as there has been quite a bit of shakeup. The week 1, for me at least, didn't go how I expected. And I know for you, it absolutely didn't go as you hoped.
I don't have the best track record on week 1, so I don't know. At this point, I kind of expected year in and year out.
Week 1 was low scoring, to say the least, really.
I think I went over the scores. I think 75% of the league under 100. You were the closest to 100. 3 power moves at 100, like 140, 130, 120, and then we'll go all the way down to 95, 85. Is that unprecedented in the league? Like,
those kind of weeks happen every once in a while where there's 4 blowouts and then a couple really close games.
Okay.
But week 1, to start it off, I mean, yeah, we had people losing by 50, even it looks like almost 60.
Looking like
in the case of Nate.
Looking like a lopsided 3-way race right now. So,
yeah. Week 1 especially didn't work out for. Well, we already mentioned it. You didn't even get 70. So
nope.
That's rough.
I'm pushing Eric 21 territory. What was that, 50 points?
Yeah. So starting out, I'm going to go over week 1's competition. That was the first week. We wanted to see who's going to score the most points, and that was Tatani. As we all know, it came down really close. Brittany almost had it, but Tatani with 149.86. You get your $5 for the first week. Congratulations.
Both great weeks for the two teams.
Absolutely, and I think we'll be seeing them later on in the power rankings really high.
Yes.
Going over our matchups from week 1, I again chose me, Apple, Brittany, Sammy, Nate, and Chris, giving me a record of 3-3.
500.
And I mean, I'll take that start, especially because I'm ahead now.
Yeah, he's ahead by a game. I mean, I think I just buy him dinner every year now. I suck at predictions, so.
That's all right. It happens. You went for Tommy, Apple, Brittany, Gifford, Tatani, and Chris.
I got 2 of them right.
And you got 2. And that's fine. All right. So we're going to go right into our power rankings. Starting out at number 12.
Me. Back-to-back weeks at the bottom feeder. I should have done my research before the draft. I didn't know Greg Dortch was going to be wide receiver 1. I did not know Alan Lazard was going to be wide receiver 1. Crazy. Joe Mixon scored half my points. So
Joe Mixon looks really good.
He looked really good for, a washed-up old man. But, yeah, unexpected. Mark is going to get benched, so that's great.
Mark isn't going to get benched. He's working his way back.
Terry, Jaden is, Lamar and RG3 combined, so he just has to run every play. So, yeah, it's not looking very promising. I can't start anybody on my bench, so it's going to be the same lineup this week. Exact same lineup.
Run it back. Trying to get over 70.
Run it back.
Hopefully a little bit better than 70.
Yeah.
Actually. Going with Marvin's Room for your name. I like the name. Honestly, I think it's just week 1. People are getting the first game jitters out.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson hasn't played with Aaron Rodgers for, ever.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, again, hasn't played with Kyler ever.
First game ever.
And, DeAndre Swift, I'm going to cut you down there. He's
on your Aaron Jones list. So
exactly.
Yep.
Joe Mixon, like I said, looks really, really good.
Better than I would have ever expected.
Those Texans are phenomenal already.
Tank needs to
barely won against the Colts.
Tank needs to pick it up. Stephon looking like wide receiver 1, which was unexpected again. Nico looked good though, but Stephon outshined both of them. So
Stephon just got the 2 touchdowns, and they were close. I'm not worried about that.
Maybe it's a carousel per week. Their offense is so explosive.
I think Nico's still going to be number 1.
He's a stud.
And then in your flex position, Terry is looking really scary. I'll be the guy that says it. He doesn't look good.
Not in a good way, no.
All right, next up, we are going to go with Eric. All right, Stenderson Eric, you're not changing your name. That's fine.
7 more points than me this week.
And that doesn't mean it's a good week for you. Everybody outscored Gifford. Unfortunately,
I would have been the only team you would have beat this week. So.
And that was not the case. You are 0-1.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow at the top. Didn't have a great game, but he gets Kansas City this week. I think that he's going to be, serviceable at the very least. hopefully Jamar Chase gets over himself and he can start being at his full potential.
Yep.
Let's see, Derrick Henry, they came out and said they're not going to give him 20 carries a game, so he might be dropping down into running back too.
Lamar had more rushes than Derrick Henry, so there you go.
I expect that to keep going.
Okay.
So. Kenneth Walker might not even play this week.
Yeah, he backflipped into the end zone and fucked up his hip, so sorry, Kenneth.
He came up, pointing at his hip, pointing at his oblique. He missed practice on Wednesday. It's not looking great right now.
He was handing out suplexes, throwing people over his head.
Might have to look at Sharby.
Doing too much.
I did like the Seahawks, though. That Seahawks game was fun.
The second half was fun.
Right.
The first half was brutal.
That doesn't matter. Justin Jefferson looks really good still.
Quarterback proof.
Quarterback proof. Sam Darnold, I mean, that doesn't apply to him because Sam Darnold is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Gargle. The Giants, though, I wouldn't get too confident yet. It's the Giants.
That's true. You get San Francisco coming up.
We'll see how good Sam is now. Former team, though. Maybe he has the rap sheet.
This is going to be tough against the Niners. Next up, wide receiver DJ Moore. He's the only target in Chicago right now.
I don't know how he did last week. How did he do?
He did fine. I mean, not really fine, actually. 7.5.
For last week, that was a decent wide receiver last week.
I mean, Caleb Williams couldn't get anywhere.
No.
So what do you expect? He's going to be the only guy there. Like I said, Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze both looking at injuries. They might not play. Keenan's looking a little better to play. Rome, I expect him to be out, unfortunately.
And whoever we say is washed, pick him up. Brandon Cooks touchdown. Just whatever we say, just go against what we say.
That's basically how this podcast works.
Yeah.
George Kittle.
Decent, I think.
Yeah, decent. He did 6 points. Honestly, none of the tight ends this week, except for Kyle Pitts, did well. And Foster Moreau, if you want to go with him.
I mean,
too.
Kyle got saved with a tutty, though. So
yeah, exactly. I'm not worried about tight ends this year. Christian Kirk is looking like the wide receiver 2 in Jacksonville now.
Who is he behind?
Brian Thomas.
Oh, okay.
And Brandon Cooks, we mentioned him earlier.
You know what? Gabe didn't do that bad.
He didn't do that bad, but he's not the...
No, he's not the one.
All right, moving on to number 10, we have Nate. And
A fall from grace.
Yeah, it was not good last week.
I think Nate, it's getting very concerning. I'm starting to have an issue. I don't know if Devontae's ever going to find that connection in Las Vegas with his quarterback. I'm starting to get, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to find. I'm not saying Devontae's losing it, but I think his communication with his quarterbacks have been an issue the past 2 years, and it's not looking good.
The Raiders clearly don't know how to use anybody on that team.
No. Except Alexander Madison, apparently.
I guess if you want, yeah. Alexander Madison did well.
Your RB2 is a little banged up. It's looking like Jacobs might not play this week.
I didn't even see that.
He's a questionable.
Another limited practice on Thursday.
So that is not good. That is nearing towards Sunday. So
you have to hope that Jahmyr Gibbs gets his day instead of David Montgomery. David Montgomery took over that Rams game.
Splitting, man, is still a split, which is not good.
But you get Tampa Bay this week for that team. I think it's going to be a lot better for Jahmyr.
We'll see.
Jalen Hurts at quarterback.
Looked okay week 1.
Yeah.
Shitty field.
22, that's good.
Shitty field. Other country. We'll see how he does against the Falcons.
I'm not worried about him yet. He still has that tush push down. It's just you got to worry about Saquon Barkley now.
Yes.
Crazy game from him. Man, I'm not even going to talk about it. They get Atlanta this week. Let's see. Keelan Coleman is looking like the guy. He will emerge as the wide receiver 1, I think, in that offense. I mean, you just got to wait a little bit. He's still a rookie. He plays tonight, so I'll keep an eye on that. Evan Ingram, I mean, like I said, tight ends, whatever. Javonte Williams looked like garbage.
Terrible.
Looked like ass. All of Denver was not good. So you hope to see him pick it up a little bit. Stephon Diggs, we mentioned, got 2 touchdowns, but they were both short yardage. I don't know. Up next, at number 9, we have Tommy. And Tommy, you barely lost. I'll say that. But it was to me, so that has to feel a little worse than losing to anyone else in the league.
You put up a fight.
You did. You lost by 10.
Lost his starting quarterback as well.
Honestly, I got scared when Puka went down. So I mean, I'm happy. I will walk away with the limping win.
I was talking about Tommy losing Jordan Love, but we could talk about that too.
No, I know. I was.
Oh, I thought you just completely.
I was still on my lane talking about.
I thought you just completely ignored my point. I was like, oh, okay.
Anyway, sorry. Let's go back to
Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 1.
Cooper Kupp, man, he's gonna be great. Jordan Love. Wait. Oh yeah, you're talking about Puka. Yeah. Anyway, Jordan Love, doubtful to play. He'll probably miss a bit of time.
Looking like 3 to 6 weeks.
Does not look good. But you can take solace in that he didn't look amazing anyway. However, your backup, Caleb Williams, he looked even worse. So that's why you are dropped all the way down here, even though you did score a reasonable amount in 85.
Yep.
Can't get you any higher. Jonathan Taylor didn't look good. Honestly,
I did not watch that game, so...
everybody on that team didn't look great.
Except Ant.
Yeah.
And Alec Pierce.
I mean, he completed, 6 passes?
Like 10, I think.
But he only needed 3 for those long-ass touchdowns.
Yep.
And that's all you're going to get from them unless they start leaning into developing him as a quarterback.
True.
Travis Etienne, 10 points, 11 points.
I think he had a touchdown and a fumble.
Yeah, looks fine again. I can't really fault you on that. Brandon Ayuk looked like trash. He got like 3 points for you. I don't know what happened there. Really, it wasn't the Jets' stifling defense.
Jawan Jennings, multiple people on the 49ers outscored Brandon Ayuk. So
Jordan Mason did, that's for sure.
Jordan Mason played great.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk just was not it. For whatever reason, he was targeted a bunch, at least 4 times in the first half.
Dropped a touchdown from me. Beautiful ball.
Yeah, and just he couldn't get it done.
No.
Devontae Smith, serviceable. He played the first game or the Friday night game. Got 12 points. I like to see that.
That's a good 12 points.
AJ Brown showed that he's the guy still in that offense. So unfortunately, you're not going to be getting the excellent breakout year from Devontae Smith, but you will still get a wide receiver 2 out of him. I like it. Kyle Pitts, best tight end in the league.
Wow.
Week 1. Let me finish that real quick. Not in the league. Week 1. Zay Flowers looked okay.
Looked all right.
For a wide receiver in Baltimore.
Lamar connected that second to last pass. It changes your whole week.
It very well could have. Zay Flowers, he's fine. Devin Singletary is not fine. I do not like Devin Singletary. I mean, it's the Giants. What else can I say? He got 7 points for you. It's not really what you expect and what you want.
The only serviceable player on the Giants is on Brittany's team, Malik Neighbors.
Ooh, I'm excited for Malik.
Yeah. If you can get 8 points in that shitty game, woo, sky's the limit.
Anyway, you get Mad Apple this week. Okay.
And speaking of number 8, Mad Apple.
Mad Apple, you're coming up right here.
CMC tricked you a little bit, huh? He was like, oh, I'm going to play. I'm not going to play. I'm going to play. I'm not going to play.
That was rough for you, but I mean, I reaped the rewards in Jordan Mason. I am going to be playing him this week.
That's good. You should.
CMC, unlikely to play, unfortunately, but...
Talking about multiple weeks.
Tendinitis. What did I say at the draft?
It was due.
He was due for an injury.
Madden curse strikes again.
I don't like that I was right, but I mean, I gotta pat myself on the back, you know. Patrick Mahomes still going to be great. They're playing Cincinnati this week, and
rivalry game.
I mean, if Jacoby Brissett could be serviceable in that game, I think Patrick Mahomes will also be able to cross that limit.
He also threw his rookie in there, put in the speedster.
Ooh, yeah, Xavier Worthy at flex.
Yep.
I like the play.
I like the play too.
Najee Harris is your other flex. Mm-hmm. I don't like that play. Mm-hmm. Najee is garbage.
Yeah.
Not Najee. He's bad. Najee Harris, more like bad Harris.
Him and like B-Rob are like the definition of 3 yards per carry. It's atrocious.
Going with Isaiah Likely because David Njoku's out.
I like Likely.
We like Likely, but is he going to continue playing at that pace?
Shit, it looked like Lamar was looking at him every place.
He looked fantastic.
He looked great.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Pittman and Olave, both completely disappeared from their offenses.
So Olave looking like Michael Thomas out there, and not the good Michael Thomas.
Not the good one.
Not the good one.
2022
Yeah.
Michael Thomas. Chris Olave just completely absent from a 40-plus point game.
And Derek Carr, 3 touchdowns. You don't think Olave could catch one of them?
Instead, give it all to Kamara.
And Foster Moreau.
And then Pittman got nothing.
Which was surprising to me. I think Pittman should be okay. Pittman should pick it up.
You hope so. Yeah. Rashad White got 13 points. I like that.
Yep.
I don't love that Bucky is working in over there.
Bucky looks pretty decent.
Yeah, he's going to be taking all of the passing down work from Rashad. So, I mean, you still have to hope that he's going to get all of these touches. Jerome Ford, he looks pretty good as far as I could tell. Yeah, 16 points, got 18 touches, and he got a touchdown. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's what you're hoping for. Do you think that he will get any, will he be serviceable when Chubb comes back?
I'm sure they're going to put Chubb on a limited count when he comes back, whenever that is. But the Browns are a mess. Who knows? I mean, they need a new quarterback. They need a new everything. So,
yeah, I think Ford will be good for at least the next, I'll say 7 weeks.
Sure.
And then if Chubb comes back like week 6, I give him until like week 9 for Jerome Ford.
Okay.
To be completely irrelevant. Next, we have Chris at the number 7 spot. Unfortunately, Chris, you lost just barely to Scott.
Barely.
Last week. It was rough, but I mean, this week we're looking up. I do think that you can take on Nate and overcome that one.
Throwing Madison in there immediately.
Interesting move, but I mean, what?
Chris is an interesting man.
Raheem Mostert's out. That makes me question, are you going to try for the Jalen Wright train? Are you going to put him in there?
I think you should.
Well, it'll be yesterday by now. You have yesterday to figure that out. Jalen Wright plays at Thursday Night Football, 5:15 versus Buffalo.
Because Raheem looked like trash.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he did. I'm not going to dispute that. James Conner looks really good. They just kept on getting the ball.
Yep.
Just constantly, man. And that was what led to Marvin Harrison not getting anything, really. CeeDee Lamb, he'll be fine. Cooper Kupp, you mentioned it earlier, going to be, number 1.
He's back.
He's top 5 wide receiver this year.
We should have known better.
Steal of the draft.
Yep.
That's your guy. You took him last year in the 3rd round. Took him this
Which
year.
was a steal back then, and then, another steal this year, so good for you, Chris.
We let him get away with it
yet
again. Sam Laporta, disappointing. That's all you can say with guys like that. Yes, we said that all tight ends had a bad week, but people like Sam Laporta, you really want to have just better games.
Shout out to Jamison Williams, man. Career night.
Jamo's coming back. Looks like it.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. He lost the first year to injury and lost the second year to suspension for a while. This year they're actually getting the ball to him. I like it. Number 6, we have Scotty.
So at number 6, we rank you as the worst winning team this week.
That's very fair.
You got the win, barely. Mike Evans looks sensational. You can't ask for any more from somebody his age at this point of his career. Baker and him look very comfortable together.
I have to ask you real quick, do you think first ballot or second ballot?
Man, it should be first ballot, but you know how these NFL analysts are weird.
It's hard for wide receivers to get in their first ballot.
Yeah.
But he's done things that nobody else in the league has ever done.
Exactly.
He's still very good.
Unless he goes on like an Antonio Brown breakdown toward the end of his, career, then
he seems level-headed.
I would hope so.
I don't know. Lad McConkey, 12 points for you. First week. I like that. That's
a good one for Lad.
That's really cool.
I love your quarterback, of course. Top 5 quarterback in the league, obviously.
CJ Stroud.
CJ looks great.
He continued where he left off last year. Oh man, he's so good.
I think he's pulling the trigger with JK this week.
He is throwing J.K. Dobbins in there this week. Do you think that it's going to be a Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins week?
JK after last week, I would assume so.
Fair. Some teams, when they know that they have a lot of running backs, they'll switch back and forth.
Maybe.
I'm still scared of playing that. They do get Carolina this week, though, so either one, I think, is going to be pretty good.
You do have a solid lineup. I mean, you have Bijan in there as well. I have you 6 because I do not like Calvin Ridley this week. I do not like his matchup at all. Especially after what Levis did in week 1. Terrible.
Dude, Levis sold that game.
Horrible. I don't know why he just couldn't throw out of bounds. He tried to throw it up. I don't know.
He was getting sacked.
Just take the sack. Just take the sack. I mean, Caleb wasn't going to lead him down the field anyways, so
they really just need to feed Tony Pizza some more.
And at Madison outplayed Zamir White, so that is concern. That is very concerning.
Yeah. I mean, you said it perfectly. Zamir White. I wanted bigger things from him this year. Like I said, I wanted him in the draft. You took him, and now I'm glad you took him
because he got Jordan Mason now.
He got 3.6 points.
Man, and a fumble.
Not an easier matchup coming up. They're going all the way to Baltimore this week.
I'm not going to do shit against that defense.
That flex position is not going to be great.
No.
Or you could switch him in for Jeff Wilson. Well, you can't now that the episode's out.
Yeah.
And you got Jamal Williams, who did score a touchdown last week. So, I mean, well, everybody scored except for Chris Olave last week. So... At number 5, we are putting Sammy right here. Team Samsonite 15.
Good win last week. Put the beating on me. And Sammy has a solid team. Josh, QB1 as ever, 35 points.
Man. Just mowing people down out there.
2 throwing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. He's just a grown man.
We love to see it.
Haley Steinfeld in the crowd.
Kyron Williams, I mean, he looked okay. You got 13 points for him. You want a little more since you took him so early in the draft.
It's looking like, we talked about this pre-draft, it's looking like Kupp's going to take away some touches from Kyron. And it's very evident that Matt wants to throw.
That's true. He wants to throw. I don't know how much Kupp is going to take just because now they're out Puka. Now they have 4 wide receiver 2s and Cooper Kupp. So I think they're gonna. I think they might lean on Kyron a little more.
Possibly, we'll see.
Next, you get the other side of the Chargers backfield. Gus Edwards is right here as your running back 2.
I don't know what he did last week, but I don't think Gus is a good play right now.
I don't like really. I mean, you got Zach Moss, but he's already in flex. Let's see, who else do you have on your bench? Bucky Irving.
You could throw Bucky at the flex.
8.6. This last week, or you could just take that chance on Gus.
I feel safer with Bucky than Gus, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, they rode the hot hand last week. The Chargers did, but they get Carolina, like I mentioned.
True.
It's a toss-up for me. At wide receiver, you got Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle was marked out clearly. Everybody saw it, and then he comes back and has 100 yards. Yep. You can't complain there. Love Jalen Waddle. Jamar Chase, you really hope that he's gonna, take it seriously.
For a guy who was gonna sit out, he could have played worse. I mean, he did okay. So they just need to figure out that offense because losing the Patriots week 1, not good.
Not at all.
No.
That lost a lot of people the survivor pool that we're in. We're the only 2 left in our survivor pool.
Who are you picking this week?
This week, who
I think I picked the Chargers because if they lose to the Panthers, then I deserve.
That's fair. You got to go with the easy one. I picked the Texans at Chicago.
Okay,
I think that's
just a sneaky matchup to me. I don't know when Caleb's gonna pick it up.
The Bears have a really good defense, but I trust the Texans to get it done there.
Okay.
I do like the pick though. Chargers.
You just gotta pick anybody with the Panthers.
Gotta get it done. Man, I wish we put money on that.
That would be actually really fun.
All right. Anyway, continuing with Sammy.
Is there anything to continue with Sammy?
Dalton Kincaid. Again, disappointment.
Which is crazy because after the stinker that Mark put up, I would have thought, Kincaid's going to outplay him. Did not outplay him. Actually played worse than he did.
Just wild. Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride. They're all really young tight ends. Sam Laporta. And they all disappointed week 1. So hopefully all of us can get our star tight ends back this week. Amari Cooper and Zach Moss at your flexes.
How'd Amari do?
Amari went for 2.6 points.
I saw a clip of the Browns huddle against the Cowboys, and Amari like rolled his eyes as he was going into the huddle, just like over it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'd be over them too if they got Deshaun Watson.
I think them allegations took the powers away from Deshaun because he's awful.
He's
Deshaun,
just garbage.
I don't know what happened to his arm. I don't know what happened to his playmaking ability. Just completely.
Straight up. Maybe it's a mental.
It's got to be a mental
health thing.
Maybe he's reliving what he did in the past on the field.
Maybe he shouldn't have done all those things.
Absolutely.
So, I don't really feel bad for Deshaun or the Browns.
Me neither. And another allegation actually came up the other day.
For Deshaun?
Yeah, from 2021.
Oh my god.
Another one.
Man, I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't been looking. Yeah. I don't really pay attention to Deshaun much.
No, me neither. It just popped up. It's just like another one.
I do feel bad for Amari. I think if he was in the correct position, he could have had like a Mike Evans career. I think
Absolutely.
He's that talented.
Yeah.
But he just gets
shafted.
Yeah. There's the word. I was gonna say flaccid for some reason.
Here comes number 4, Big Commish.
Number 4.
Talk about it.
We're going with me. I barely won last week. I don't know if I can call myself number 4.
I don't think the win was ever in danger, though. I was keeping track of that game. It was never in danger. I don't think. Like you were always.
Yeah, I was supposed to be winning by like 20, but I ended up winning by 5 or 10. So it's not great for me. Anyway.
Your quarterback is on the record saying that he does not dictate who he throws the ball to. How do you feel about that statement?
Absolutely. I fully support my quarterback. Obviously, who else is going to get the ball? Or who is anybody to expect the quarterback to get the ball to Marvin Harrison? Really? Come on.
Or Trey.
No, we want a guy that doesn't know where he's going to throw.
Oh.
A guy that doesn't dictate where the ball is going to be thrown to wide receivers, tight end. Who knows? That's the coach's job to get the ball to Marvin Harrison.
Throw it to himself so he can add more points.
Absolutely. We want Kyler to be unknowing and just willing to do whatever. He doesn't need to know what he's doing because that's how he scores points, obviously. I fully support Kyler.
With a measly 15.
Kyler got 16.
Oh, 16, my bad. I cut him short 1 point.
Anyway, he needs to work on his chemistry with Marvin Harrison.
And Trey.
And Trey McBride. Yeah, I mean, he showed it last year. He just needs to do it again this year. So
just a baffling statement from your quarterback, that's all.
It was ridiculous. Who says that? You're a quarterback. Get the ball to your wide receiver.
Maybe he can't see it. He's short. He can't see over the line.
Yeah. You know. Tony Pollard. What do you think about him?
RB3 this week. Outsnap Tyjae Spears. I thought I was excited. It said 50-50 backfield. It was not a 50-50 backfield. Tony Pizzas.
17 points this week.
I guess the Bears too. I mean, who would have thunk it?
I mean, based off last year, I wouldn't have thunk it.
No.
But you gotta hope. You gotta take those chances. I mean, my other running back, Breece Hall, he performed just fine.
A little fumble in there, though.
Yes, but in this league, it didn't matter.
Just take the 15-16 and keep it moving.
Exactly. In the guillotine league, though, that's how the guy got cut.
The fumble?
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Jeremy got kicked out of the guillotine league because of
I didn't know Jeremy was in the guillotine league. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, the Chris's friend, right? Yeah.
Next, wide receivers, Rashee Rice and Nico Collins.
What a great game by Rashee.
Oh, man. Coming out swinging already.
I just watched the game. I was like, ooh, this is dangerous. Just like first 3 throws straight to him.
I'm really happy with my pick there. So I'm feeling good about my team still.
Have you seen the new meme about Rashee?
What, driving his car on the field?
No, he's the new slant boy, the new Michael
Collins. Oh, yeah. And I will take that.
It was a lot of slants, but I mean, they're first down, so
let's throw it back to 2019, Rice. Let's go. Brian Thomas, he scored, so I will be starting him this week.
Are you flex?
Yeah, he's going in there.
Who's going on the bench?
Puka.
Oh, Puka's hurt.
Yeah, I gotta.
How serious is Puka's injury? I did not watch the game.
He is on IR.
Okay.
So he's likely to miss at least 4 games?
That's a bummer.
Minimum of 4. Probably past their week 6 bye.
That's a bummer. I like Puka a lot. But...
Me too. Like I said, Nico, he's a baller. I really like him. I did end up getting DeMarcus Robinson for about $5 on the waiver wire.
I did see that.
I mean, it's a desperation play. If I have to play anybody, or if he has to get into the lineup, it's not good for anybody. We mentioned earlier, Rome Odunze is likely to be out this week, so that's unfortunate. And I do have to sit I do have to sit Khalil Shakir because I have other options now. And
Shakir looked good
he
too.
looked good. He scored. And now he's playing tonight, and I think I'm making the decision right now to not play him.
Okay.
Trey McBride, not worried. It was the first week. We mentioned it earlier. I have Jordan Mason. I am going to be playing him this week over Khalil.
As you should.
How can I say his name tonight?
Khalil.
Rico Dowdle, whatever. These are bench players. It doesn't matter. Moving on to number 3.
The triangle of the league so far.
Harris. He scored an ungodly amount of points, just like the other two coming up. 130 point. Oh my gosh.
130 points.
Just crazy. Lamar Jackson taking up the head at quarterback. I mean, he looks MVP form already. He was taking off constantly. Fantasy football MVP. He's just running constantly.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you love to see it if he's on your team.
Ramondre, shockingly, 20 points off rip. First
He gets
week.
Seattle this week.
That's not good for us. But we'll take the challenge. I think our defense looks a little beefier this year.
They looked okay.
We look good.
Very good.
Yeah, we look good.
I like it. Isaiah Pacheco, I like him.
Yep.
He gets Cincinnati this week, and I think he'll continue to run hard, run fast, and run angry.
It's a big game, so
Yeah. If they want to win, they will keep it going. I mean, they don't really have to be careful with much. They've got a full, complete team.
what a way to start off the season. Ravens and then the Bengals, just like they're just throwing the Chiefs. Here you go, good. Fire game.
And they look easy. These games look easy for the Chiefs.
Well, especially if the Bengals play like they did last week.
Right. James Cook, all you can say is nothing.
Yeah.
Because he looked good. He got 12 points.
That's all you can ask for.
From the Bills running back. Obviously, Josh Allen is going to take some runs here and there,
Absolutely.
but whatever. He gets to play Thursday night. Tyreek Hill, coming off the arrest, coming in, getting that long touchdown. That's what you want.
That basically just pissed him off.
It really did. I saw somebody saying the new flu game is the arrest game. You got to get arrested right before playing, then you'll score. Long touchdowns. He gets Buffalo this week. You got a lot of Thursday night players. Okay, we'll see. George Pickens, I mean, he looks fantastic.
Double-digit points.
He had some great catches out there. Unfortunately, his quarterbacks threw those passes, and that's why he needed to lay out and do all these acrobatics. That was your guy, George Pickens? Pretty sure I remember you hyping him up. Maybe I'm wrong. We don't even need to talk about it.
Okay.
Brock Bowers, I mean, he looked pretty good.
They look good.
He looked really good for a rookie tight end.
On that dysfunctional Raiders team.
This whole team, except for Deontay Johnson, looks pretty good. I approve of your team. You're welcome. You have my blessing.
We're giving you your flowers now. You are not number 12 from last year.
I just don't know who you're going to put in that second flex. Maybe you got to start cooking up some trades. Maybe Zach Charbonnet this week.
I mean, Son got a shit ton of targets, like 12 targets. I mean,
that's true. I just don't know how you trust anybody on the Panthers offense. Anyway, moving on to number 2, we have
Miss Brittany.
Brittany was the runner-up in the competition, and now she's the runner-up in the power ranking.
It's only right.
It's only right. She scored another just immense amount of points. Anthony Richardson was insane, just knocking the ball up.
Telling you, man, that guy's generational. I'm telling you.
9 for 19. Are you kidding me? 212 yards,
under
2
50%.
touchdowns, and an interception.
He needs to clean up that percentage for sure.
You say that stat line and you hear, maybe 15 points. This guy had 35 points. What? Game breaking.
It's the rushing. It's the rushing part of it. Yeah. Jaden Reed.
Jaden
What a guy.
Reed looked fantastic.
My guy, again, I don't know why I didn't draft him. Such an X factor. I think Jaden Reed is 1,000% the best wide receiver on the Packers. And it's not even close.
I'm kind of scared for him, though. Do you think he's QB proof?
No, if
Malik Willis is the QB in question.
Malik's fucking up that.
Yeah. I don't know how much I trust Jaden Reed to get up there.
No.
Amon-Ra's going to be just fine. I'm not worried about him. He does get Tampa Bay this
start for Amon-Ra, though.
I know. Unfortunate. But, I mean, that's fine. Because, on the other hand, you did have David Montgomery. And he, like we mentioned earlier, took over that game and just delivered for you. Overtime was all him. And he got 15.8.
Yep.
Achan might not even play Thursday night.
He is going to play tonight.
He is confirmed. Oh, well, where was the breaking news on that one?
I just saw it before we recorded that he is. That he is.
There we go. Devon Achan will play. I still don't know how much I trust him, just because he's been limited this week.
Sure.
And now we're gonna look at the rookie and Jeff Wilson too. Moving on, Dallas Goedert. I don't really like him as a tight end, so it's whatever. The hype, he is post hype at this point.
He needs to shave his head.
Okay. Malik Neighbors, I mentioned earlier, I do like him. I think he will explode eventually. Danny Dimes.
Quarterback's the only thing holding him back.
But they do get a really soft defense in Washington this week.
We shall see what happens.
Man, I hope he scores like 11 at least. Debo, like you said earlier, this team is loaded, man.
Debo, catches, carries, whatever you want from the man.
Debo's great.
Yeah.
I like this team. Number 2 in our power rankings. Number 1 in our heart. Brittany.
But just falls short to the best team in the league. And
Once again,
I don't know why we let this happen. We let it happen because Tatani's team is fucking stacked.
Just knocked it out. Pick after pick after pick. Jaden Daniels at the top, looking like the number 1 quarterback. Obviously, last week, did he play? Did you play Jaden Daniels? I don't even remember.
I'm not sure, but just knocked it out of the park. I mean, hands down the best rookie debut so far this year.
28 points from Jaden Daniels last week. Crazy. Just great numbers. I did say that in the pre-draft process. I wanted him. Unfortunately, didn't get him. Saquon Barkley.
Three touchdowns.
Insane debut for the Eagles. I love it for the Eagles. I don't love it for our league. I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I do speak for me. I don't want you to win again. Sorry. Alvin Kamara at your other running back spot. He looked good.
The AJ Saquon stack. AJ looked great. Just blew by Jair Alexander easily. DK just needs to pick it up. Not worried about that. He got PS2 on him all game. You know, it's whatever.
Yeah. Shut down defense, shut down corner, and a new offensive scheme. We're seeing JSN not really what we wanted, honestly.
No.
I was hoping for a lot more from him. DK also. Lockett was the best receiver yet again out there. So,
it's just whatever. We think we should just go the opposite. I don't know why we keep doing this. I don't know why we keep doing this.
Colby Parkinson instead of Jake Ferguson. Not even going to take the chance on Jake Ferguson. Which I get.
Ferguson get banged up?
Yeah.
Okay.
He might not play this week. So you're going with Colby Parkinson, LA Rams tight end. It makes sense. Puka's out, and he may be the next guy up.
Hell, even Godwin looked fine last week. I mean...
Yeah, Chris Godwin looked good. Didn't he score last week?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm just so upset that he... Yeah, 18 points. Good God, man.
What was that for you last week?
Nowhere. I prayed for this man to give me points.
Where's the holy water,
man? And Aaron Jones. This is just my team from last year.
Aaron Jones looked like 2018 Aaron Jones.
Got 18 points per year.
He had 18?
17.9, excuse me. But, yeah, just ridiculous. Anyway, congratulations, Tani. Tatani, congratulations. You are the number 1 in our power rankings for week 2.
Yeah.
We will see how that goes coming up next week. Moving on to week 2 matchups, we are going to go through each one and tell you who we pick, because that's how we do it.
Yep.
Up first, we have Devin versus Paris. That is always the McBridesmaid versus Harris like France. And in this one, I'm going with me. I got to. Even though she looks like a juggernaut right now, number 3 in the power rankings, I can't lose faith in my team this early. Yes, we got some big injuries last week, and we got to fight through them. That's all I can say.
You have to. I picked Paris this week. Devin just has to get that big win under his belt. He has to knock off one of the powerhouses and work his way into the top 3. So he has to prove to me that he can beat Paris this week. But I'm picking Paris.
That makes sense. It's a respectable decision. Paris's team is honestly insane, and all I can do is hope to be within like 10 points.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Up next, we have Chris, Projection King, versus Nate, wide receiver retirement. It's Estates.
After brutally going through Nate's team, I think Chris is going to get a recharge this week, and he's going to take the win, unfortunately.
I went back and forth with this until I got to wide receivers. So Dak versus Jalen Hurts, I like it. It's a wash. Running backs, you got James Conner versus Jahmyr Gibbs. After that, you got Alexander Mattison and Josh Jacobs. Both of those are washes. I'm not worried about those. At wide receiver, though, it's honestly not even close. You got Cooper Kupp and CeeDee Lamb versus Devontae Adams and Keon Coleman. That's where it really falls apart for me. So, Chris, you are my pick.
Yep. Same here.
Up next, we have Tommy going against Matt Apple.
We are both surprisingly on the Tommy train. I think CMC's injury is going to affect Apple more than it looks on paper, and I'm not sold on Apple's team anymore. We had him number 1 last week out of blind ranking, but yeah, I'm not liking that team too much anymore.
The Christian McCaffrey effect really took over us last week.
Yes,
putting you at number 1 when clearly was not the move. Caleb Williams instead of Jordan Love, so that's going to be a little bit of a cripple
right
to Tommy. But I mean, yeah, looking at it again, I'm still sticking with Tommy.
Yeah,
that was my pre-show pick, and it is now my normal pick. Brittany versus Gifford. It's a pretty even matchup, at least on paper.
On paper, delusional me. I have to talk myself into this win. I need this win. I need to get myself out of the funk, and I need to prove that I can even compete with the top of the heap. Because if I can't, season's over already.
That's another one. You got to get a top tier win if you want to play with the big dogs.
I have to, and Brittany is a big dog. Woof woof.
Absolutely, Goddard. Bark bark. And that is Marvin's Room versus Goddard.
Go pick your wife.
I am. I'm picking Brittany.
Yeah.
Brittany's gonna win this one. Up next. I mean, do we even have to go through it? Tatani versus Scott.
And I'm not even trying to disrespect Scott. Scott had a good team, but it's not Tatani's team.
I just hope he doesn't get embarrassed this week. Because Tatani, I mean, it's just not close, man. Bijan, I hope, can do better, but it just doesn't compare.
I'll say this. Right now, Tatani's on pace like what me and you had when we had our record-breaking like years where we were just running, ahead of the pack. Like, it's looking like that kind of year.
Glad you came versus Fergalicious, and I'm going Fergalicious.
Fergalicious is going to eat up.
Absolutely.
Lad.
Last one is going to be Sammy versus Eric. And, I mean, just quick off the bat, I'm taking Sammy.
Me too.
Last week, they both scored under 100, but I think
Sammy's under 100 was quite better than Eric's under 100.
They were about 22 points off. So here, I think Sammy can get at least like 6 more points and break that 100 mark.
Yep.
Her team's just better in pretty much every way. Yeah, I'm going with Sammy.
Me too.
Next, we have week 2's competition. That is going to be 0 to 0. So the biggest negative point differential between week 1 and week 2. I wish you all good luck. Again, I'm Devin.
I'm Gifford.
And we will see you next week.
We will see you next week. Brittany, take a dive. Take the $5.
Bye.